that she believes that she should be able to express herself and speak her truth or whatever nonsense, regardless of the consequences to everybody else.
Hollywood is no stranger to meteoric rises and spectacular falls. But when it comes to Rachel Zegler, her journey is anything but conventional. One moment, she's the dazzling new face of cinema. The next, she's embroiled in controversy and facing a tidal wave of backlash. How did she go from being Hollywood's sweetheart to its public enemy #1? And why is Taylor Swift now weighing in? Rachel Zegler's story had all the ingredients for a Hollywood fairy tale. Discovered through a viral audition clip, she landed the coveted lead role in Steven Spielberg's remake of West Side Story, a role that launched her into stardom. Critics raved about her vocal talent, and audiences were mesmerized by this fresh-faced star, ready to bring new life to a legendary story.
There's two of me. Double the trouble, am I right? You can't check in. You're not an adult.
Yeah. Weird. But while things seemed perfect on the surface, there was always something simmering beneath. How did this rising star go from the next big thing to facing relentless criticism? Well, brace yourselves. This is about to get juicy. Rachel Zegler was practically handed a golden ticket to Hollywood. Her viral audition catapulted her to instant fame, and she was praised for being cast as Maria in West Side Story. With Spielberg at the helm, this was supposed to be her shining moment. She seemed genuinely overwhelmed, even admitting in interviews that at times she thought her career trajectory was too good to be true. Her fresh take on West Side Story promised to honor the original while adding something new.
On a talk show tonight, and I'm gonna talk shit about them on the talk show. Talking shit on the talk show. This is the one time in my life where if you have something to say, I don't want to hear it. I have nothing interesting to say. I look insane. Everyone's just ignoring my phone calls. Whatever, it's chill. I don't even care.
Her performance in West Side Story earned praise. But there were whispers behind the scenes that things weren't as perfect as they seemed. Industry insiders and crew members began to leak stories about her behind-the-scenes behavior. Was she an entitled diva, or a confident artist asserting her vision? Some claimed she challenged choreography, questioned costumes, and clashed with department heads. For a newcomer, pushing back against the legendary Steven Spielberg seemed risky, but Rachel didn't seem to care. She was ready to assert herself at all costs.
I don't want people to see me as ungrateful or anything like that. I was nervous that that's what this makes me look like. I don't want people to see me in a weakened state.
What an idiot I've been as a young person in this industry who has no filter and no idea what she's doing.
Here's where things get interesting. Spielberg is known for nurturing new talent, but sources close to the set reported that his patience was running thin with Rachel. She wasn't just a passionate artist. Some said she was becoming disruptive. Spielberg, who had mentored A-list talent like Drew Barrymore and Christian Bale, was reportedly frustrated. One anonymous insider allegedly claimed that Spielberg even labeled her horrible to work with. This revelation sent shockwaves through Hollywood. If Spielberg, the director who is famous for mentoring actors, couldn't handle Rachel, what did that mean for her career? Though Spielberg remained diplomatic publicly, praising Rachel's performance, the cracks were already showing. He lavished praise on her co-stars, but gave Rachel only perfunctory compliments. It seemed like something was off, and the whispers only grew louder. Fast forward to Rachel landing the iconic role of Snow White in Disney's live-action remake. This should have been the role that cemented her stardom, but instead, it set off a chain of events that would lead to a public relations nightmare. Disney invested over $250 million in the project, banking on its nostalgic value and Rachel's star power to win over audiences. But from the moment filming started, the production was plagued with issues. First came the changes to the original story, turning the dwarfs into magical beings, removing classic elements of the fairy tale, and even changing Snow White's role as the innocent, passive princess. Rachel added fuel to the fire with her controversial comments. She referred to the original Snow White as creepy and even labeled the prince a stalker. This didn't sit well with fans of the original animated film, many of whom grew up with the classic Disney princess. The backlash was swift and intense. But just when things couldn't seem to get worse, Taylor Swift entered the scene, turning Rachel's already strained reputation upside down. Taylor Swift, the queen of taking no prisoners when it comes to speaking her mind, didn't hold back. Known for her clever, pointed remarks, Taylor publicly humiliated Rachel Zegler's Snow White excuse-making, with a fiery statement that had fans and the media buzzing. In a now infamous tweet, Taylor called out Rachel's approach to the character, suggesting that sometimes those who try to modernize something as classic as Snow White should just leave it alone. Swift didn't mince words, declaring that certain things in the world of Disney should be left untouched for a reason. Taylor's remarks sent shockwaves through Hollywood. As a global superstar with a massive loyal following, when she speaks, people listen. The public's perception of Rachel's comments shifted almost immediately. Was Rachel really in the right, or was she just using her position to push a modern agenda that was undermining classic stories? The aftermath of Taylor Swift's intervention was swift and harsh. Social media erupted, with fans backing Taylor's take on the issue, while others defended Rachel's right to bring a modern twist to the character. But the fact remained that Rachel's reputation had suffered a serious blow. Even Disney, the company that had once put so much faith in her, appeared to distance itself from the controversy. The buzz around Snow White went from excitement to skepticism, as audiences questioned whether they were ready to embrace this new, reimagined version of the beloved character. Rachel's attempts to justify her actions fell flat, especially after Taylor Swift's savage critique. The industry began to look at her with a more critical eye, with many questioning whether she had the staying power to survive in Hollywood. After all, in a town that thrives on public image, alienating fans and veterans alike could be career suicide. But there's something even darker lurking behind the scenes of this controversy. Was Rachel's fall from grace truly the result of an overzealous desire to modernize a classic, or was there something more sinister at play? Some insiders suggest that Rachel's behavior may have been influenced by more than just artistic passion. Could it be that she was trying to manipulate her way into the spotlight, using the power of controversy to remain relevant? Rumors swirl that some powerful figures behind the scenes may have even pushed her into these controversial stances as a way to stir up publicity for the Snow White project. Could Rachel have been a pawn in a much larger game? Was there a hidden agenda orchestrated by forces within Disney to ensure that the film, despite its inevitable controversy, would stay in the public eye? It's a question that might never be fully answered, but one that lingers as the story unfolds. As Rachel Zegler's career hangs in the balance, one thing is clear: Hollywood is a cruel beast. What seemed like an unbreakable rise has now turned into a cautionary tale of ambition, entitlement, and the harsh reality of public scrutiny. With Taylor Swift weighing in on the drama, the question remains: will Rachel be able to bounce back, or is this the beginning of her Hollywood downfall? What do you think? Is Rachel Zegler justified in her interpretation of Snow White, or did she take things too far? And what role does social media play in shaping the careers of young stars like Rachel? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want more juicy gossip, scandalous updates, and behind-the-scenes drama from Hollywood's hottest controversies, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You won't want to miss the next big story.